Hey folks, 1.4, subtracting rational numbers. Remember always to put the date. Always date your notes, and I don't mean take them out for dinner and a movie. I mean make sure that you put the date on them because it's a helpful organizational tool. Item number 2, just for the heck of it. Let's write our names here, so just in case the booklets somehow bust apart, we know whose notes belong to who. When subtracting rational numbers, change the subtraction to addition and the sign of the rational number following the changed operation. Ah! What does that mean? It means when you see that there are two signs beside each other. The two signs must become one, otherwise it's too confusing. So, remember, when we have two signs beside each other, a negative and a negative, that becomes a positive, or the addition happens between the two terms. Negative and a positive, that's a negative. A positive and a negative, which is just the same thing as a negative and a positive, that is negative. And a positive and a positive is a positive. So, when we have an even number of negatives, we have positive. When we have an odd number of negatives, we have negative. So when I see these two negatives that are beside each other, what I want to do is I just want to write one operation between these two terms. The operation that it becomes is positive, or addition. And so I just want to rewrite because, this is so messy. There are like 3-4 different signs. Let me just rewrite it. So I'm going to say negative 2.4 plus 6.7. So if I want to just think about it in terms of a number line, if I have negative 2.4 and here's my 0, I'm going to be adding 6.7. So that means I'm going to have a positive answer. It's always good to estimate these things before plunking it into a calculator, so that if we get an answer that's way off, we'll be able to, double check it. So we have 2.4, and this number is negative, and we're going to add 6.7 equals 4.3. Just like we kind of estimated, the number, our answer is going to be positive. Now, here is a little gift from the mathematical gods. This one has no double sign. We have 7 over 3. Thank you for giving that to me as a improper fraction. Love it. Minus 3 2/3. So first things first, what I want to do is whenever we have subtraction, now when we add mixed numbers, numbers with whole numbers and fractions, we can add the two whole numbers together first and then deal with the fractions. But when we're talking about subtraction, or there are any negatives involved, it's always going to be easiest to change to improper. So 7 over 3 is already as an improper fraction. The sign is going to be subtraction. And now I want to get 3 2/3. So I go 3 times 3, which is 9, plus 2 is 11. 11 over 3. We do a little happy, happy dance of joy because we have the common denominators already, so we don't have to change that. So then we just go 7 minus 11. Now the thing that we're subtracting is bigger than the positive number. 11 is bigger than 7, so we know we're going to have a negative number. So we start out with 7, and we move 11 spots to the left. We're going to get negative 4/3. And if I want to give the best and most full answer possible, I'm going to change that to a mixed fraction. So negative 1, because 3 goes into 4 once, and there's 1 left over, and 1/3. Because I like my teacher, I'm going to put a box around my final answer to make it really easy. So, summary time. When you have two signs beside each other, simplify by figuring out which sign is appropriate or which sign is correct. And rewrite And another thing is the other thing that I would love for you guys to remember is when there are negatives or subtraction in a fraction question, change to improper first.